It's something I thought I would never ever have to say in a YouTube video. Something that was so bizarre, something so strange that it needed no clarification. And yet, today, folks, I'm here to tell you, the United States government has officially declared Katy Perry is not, I repeat, not, an astronaut. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Pro Channel, where we continue to spin on this little blue marble we call Spaceship Earth. Yes, and we are hovering in the beam of a sun ray and all of that, folks, and we're happy that you've come our way. Click the like button, and let's dive into one of the most ludicrous, and I mean this, one of the most absolutely ridiculous stories we've ever covered, and yet it's Katy Perry, and she's getting told off by the U.S. government. No, kid, you're not a space astronaut. Ladies and gentlemen, take a look at this out of today.com. Yes, the U.S. government, the U.S. of A., red, white, and blue, has weighed in with wendys. The Secretary of Transportation to the Blue Origin all-female crew, you cannot identify as an astronaut. Just let it sink in. Folks, I told you this is one of those shows. FAA guidelines say the 6 women did not meet mission-critical standards that qualify a person as an astronaut. I know this is shocking to all of you that Katy Perry, and shocking to her as well, is not, in fact, an astronaut for an 11-minute ride on a phallic-shaped rocket. This is by Alex Portier, and it's, it says, Blue Origin's all-female crew successfully made it to space, but when it comes to whether they are considered astronauts, former federal guidelines are bringing them back down to Earth. Earlier this week, Blue Origin's star-studded female flight crew, which included singer Katy Perry and journalist Gayle King, reached the edge of space and entered orbit. Now, I don't think you can really say that you entered orbit if you were in orbit for 1 second, which is literally what they did. They literally touched the edge of what is considered space, and then they immediately came back down. The goal was hit the line, get back down. So orbit, I think that's a little bit, I think they had more orbits gum ready to go when they landed than they had orbits around the Earth. So it says, in an April 17th post on X, U.S. Secretary of Transportation Sean Duffy described the team as brave and glam, but underscored why the team lacks the achievements and criteria it takes to be recognized by the Federal Aviation Administration as astronauts, a designation that has a high bar. It says, the U.S. commercial space industry is an inspiring project which showcases American ingenuity and exceptionalism. But the last FAA guidelines under the Commercial Space Astronaut Wings program were clear. Crew members who travel to space must have demonstrated activities during, well, let's open it. Let's keep reading. You ready, folks? Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Demonstrated activities during flight that were essential to public safety or contributed to human space flight safety. The crew who flew to space this week on an automated flight by Blue Origin, aka a computer did it, were brave and glam, but you cannot identify as an astronaut. They do not meet the FAA astronaut criteria.
Did you ever in your life think that a member of the cabinet of the United States would ever use the word glam in an official release?
Lou, did you ever think that we would have a picture such as this in which Jeff Bezos' angels took off?
I aimed you at a different version of it you might want to bring up over there in the sidebar. But yeah, and I tell you who I feel sorry for is those other couple of women, whoever they are, because we know Bezos' wife got the ride for free, but supposedly Katy and Gayle paid $150,000, $200,000. So I assume the other ones did too, and they don't get their light is under the bushel, so to speak, compared to the couple of famous broads, So,
well, let's bring in somebody else who's famous but has broad shoulders. He himself is not a broad, ladies and gentlemen. It is Ron from Follow the Bradley's Fun. Ron, welcome aboard. Ron, are you shocked that Katy Perry is not officially an astronaut according to the U.S. government?
No, I was just thinking to myself, I watched the old Cheech and Chong movies, and I'm pretty sure Cheech and Chong got closer to space than they ever did.
On the other hand, Buzz Aldrin is not officially designated as a singer. So I guess there's balance in the universe after all.
There you you go.
Yeah.
So,
Katy Perry, what is it? Kiss the ground. She liked it. You see, that's the interesting thing about this whole thing is, like Lou was saying right there. I love how it's just Jeff Bezos' girlfriend. It's actually, I believe, Lauren Sanchez. She's actually a pilot. She's actually pretty talented in the air, from what I'm told, with her black helicopter up there. But a lot of these other women aren't getting nearly as much coverage as
there
Katy
you go.
Perry
That's
herself.
the one. I love this.
Now,
Okay, so we're happy that they're safe, Vash.
We're very happy.
We're very happy that they went up in the sky and they came back down, and it does look ridiculous, the thing that's behind them. Vash, I mean, it does. I mean, it's just, there's no way around it. It's just it's totally ridiculous.
It's like, you know, those pictures every year of people with palm trees with Christmas lights that look like that. That's what it reminds me of.
I see the scene where in Superman, Man of Steel, where they shot the rockets up into the Phantom Zone. It's like, wow, that's a real rocket now.
Well, it feels like to me, Jeff Bezos is trolling them. You know, like, get all these women to ride in that thing. That is, I mean, that's ultimate troll level. Vash, we're happy that they went up and they came down, they were safe and all of that. But this has blown up in their faces, not the structure. We're not making fun or light of that, folks. We would never do that. But the PR campaign. This was supposed to be a big PR boost for Jeff Bezos, who's taking on SpaceX. This was supposed to be a big PR boost for Katy Perry and for Gayle King and all of that. And instead, they're getting roundly mocked about it. Nobody's buying into it. And the U.S. government is even coming out and saying, no, your cute little thing about you being an astronaut, it's not real. You're not an astronaut. This is not historic in any way. Wendy's, the fast food chain, is making fun of them and refusing to take it back. So Vash, this did not go the way they intended.
I think they get more airtime and zero G's riding Stardust Racers 6 times in a row than you would from this flight, wouldn't you?
Out of Epic Universe, absolutely.
Yes.
Stardust Racers was freaking crazy. I'm surprised I didn't soil myself. Let me put it that way.
Well, so is Katy Perry in this in that regard. Vash, let me go to you though, and they say that all PR is good PR. They say that advertising is what it is. In this case, I actually think it's bad enough that it's kind of like a Ziegler effect. They pretended to be things that they are not, and the public called them out on it.
Yes, I actually don't subscribe to that idea that all PR is good PR, because in the social media era, that takes on a different tone and tenor, especially when you have people from all over the world able to comment on what you're actually doing. And apparently Daily Mail came out with insider sources who believe that Katy Perry regretted actually taking that space flight. Now, apparently there's another source out there saying she didn't regret going into space. And it's like, well, low Earth orbit, maybe. So perhaps that's still accurate.
Should we care how she feels about it? I mean, she's got the money, she's got the connections. Go for it, kid. Have fun.
But Lou, doesn't
mean I have to care.
But Lou, was this not all a PR stunt to keep her relevant so that people would be buying her music and think she's cool and little girls will be looking up to her? She's the RGB of the. Did I get that right? No, the RBG. Sorry, folks. I switched with the Supreme Court justice with color coding.
You were going red, green, blue. Yes, it's a dictator Ginsburg.
She's the RBG of this generation.
No. Next question.
Well, that's the thing. So I would have scheduled this whole thing if I was Katy Perry anyway, around my new album, right? But 143, I believe, came out, I think, last year, September. So it couldn't have maybe been for that reason. Perhaps sales were down. I'm not sure. But definitely this is a PR stunt. And I think a lot of these women regret actually going there. The reason why we care, Lou, is because these women were just taken through they were dragged in the mud, let's say, pretty hard on social media.
Is that what that big cloud of dust was when it landed?
Well, they've been victimized. Joe Rogan destroys Katy Perry's absurd behavior and reveals symbol that strikes at her vacuity, says Daily Mail. Says Joe Rogan, this is by Will Potter. Joe Rogan brutally roasted the all-female Blue Origin spaceflight as he laid into fans fawning over their achievement. Stars on the flight, including Katy Perry and Lauren Sanchez, have been mocked in the days since they landed safely on Monday. Perry's antics have particularly come under scrutiny, with the singer choosing to kiss the earth when she landed back before giving a tone-deaf speech about how the flight was a supernatural journey. Interesting that. Rogan tore apart the songstress in particular, for bringing a daisy with her on the 11-minute Odyssey, a symbol of her utter vacuity. It shows you how quick the flight was. The dead daisy that snipped from its life source was still alive, he said mockingly. And it goes on to talk about how even Rogan is now mocking Katy Perry, and there's the daisy she had, and there she is kissing the ground. Remember, folks, none of these ladies did anything. They sat in the chair, they strapped them in, 11 minutes up. Well, actually, 6.5 minutes up? No, 5.5 minutes up, 5.5 minutes down, all controlled by a computer, and that was it. If you ride Millennium Falcon, Smuggler's Run,
you have more control.
There's more to do than what these women did. And I'm not here to take anything away from them other than to say,
whatever. She wants to kiss the ground because she has to do something. I guess there's worse things you could do, but I just feel like, these are rich people having fun, and swell, go have fun, but I don't care. Well,
that's the thing, though, Lou. If it was just rich people having fun, I don't think anybody would really care. But they wanted to make this a triumphant thing. Oh, women power and all this kind of stuff.
Well, then discover something, do something new, make a scientific contribution. Don't just,
And I think,
and you could have, look, if they thought about it, couldn't they have come up with some kind of little experiment they could do in the capsule when they're up there? They come back and see, we proved water's wet or whatever it is, or we confirmed this experiment done at the space. There you go.
Gotta love the Babylon Bee. Gotta love it. All right, so everybody's making fun of Katy Perry.
By the way, when you're on Astro Orbiter, if they ever put it back, you have more control over altitude than they did.
That's true. Exactly right. Ron, the big news, though, the reason that we're covering Katy again is because their antics actually went so far as to cause the U.S. government to remind people, no, they're not astronauts. And in a postmodern neo-Marxist, aka woke world, the idea that you can identify as an astronaut just because, well, it doesn't fit the clause that the U.S. government says exists that defines what an astronaut truly is. It turns out Katy Perry is also not a medical doctor, even if she wears a stethoscope, and I can go on. Ron, your thoughts about the fact that the U.S. government even has to weigh in now on the insanity of the Hollyweirds and say, no. You're not a brain surgeon, and you're not an astronaut.
It's just, the whole thing is completely ridiculous. I'm just thinking of a couple things. First of all, Taylor Swift, really good one to sit this one out. So smart of you.
Yeah.
Okay, because your cred just went up in the world. So good on you, Taylor Swift. Another thing it makes me think of is Will Smith in Independence Day. Remember how he kept getting denied to be an astronaut, right? So like that was a big part of the opening part of Independence Day is like his denial, and of course, at the end of the movie, half the population, more than half the population is probably gone. So he finally gets his chance anyway. He goes up, becomes an astronaut, whatever. It's just so funny. This whole story is so funny to me, and the way this is really bad media spin. The media just did not handle any of this in the right way. And of course, first of all, I'm sorry, there's no way to look at Jeff Bezos' rocket ships and not laugh. I just watched the launch like a few minutes ago of Falcon 9 from my house, and Katy, the Bezos rocket ship is the Amazon thing. I hope I never get a Amazon delivery package in that thing, because I'm not going to send it back. I don't know. It's the Hollywood shouldn't be. You shouldn't have to tell somebody you cannot identify as something that you're not. One of the commercials, as a matter of fact, that plays a lot on YouTube lately is that one actor with the goggles, whatever. And he talks about how, as an actor, he gets paid to do all kinds of things that he doesn't actually do, right? It reminds me of that. And he flat out says, I'm none of those things. It just makes me look like I am. And AI makes me look smarter than I am. And unfortunately,
I'm not a doctor, but I play one on television, right?
That's right. They may have created a Motel 6. Hey, by the way, let me say this. What's interesting, too, that I think people should take away from it, it makes Bezos look really, really shoddy in comparison to Musk, because SpaceX is going out there and saving the people off the International Space Station, going up there and doing the real launches, and Bezos with his Blue Origin is sending celebrity women up for 11 minutes. And the comparison, I think, is not one that I don't think Bezos should keep this up. Like if he wants celebrities to take an 11-minute ride, whatever, but knock it off with the historic nonsense.
It does raise an interesting conundrum in my mind. If it was Bezos that was running Doge for President Trump, would people be burning Amazon packages?
Yes.
I don't know, because that they need. A Tesla is like an abstract concept to most of these people.
No, Lou, I fully believe that if it was Bezos that they thought was highly associated with Orange Man Bad, they would stop. Really, they would stop using the Amazon. They would start doing things to the packages, and all of a sudden you would have this really weird world where liberals and not liberals, crazy lefties, because we like classical liberals, but really far lefties would be advocating for Walmart. And what a strange place that would be.
Well, and it occurs to me, the ultimate example of what this is all about, your point about the government officially telling him, no, you're not really an astronaut. I don't know how many people are old enough to remember a wonderful comedian who used to be on Ed Sullivan all the time named Myron Cohen, who told these great, great jokes, usually about the people of my tribe. And there's a famous story he told about the young, very successful stockbroker in LA who buys a yacht. And he wants to prove to his parents, that he's made it, that he's arrived in the world. So he takes his mama and papa from the old country and his wife out on this beautiful cabin cruiser. And he's wearing the double-breasted yachting jacket and the ascot and the hat. And while his mom and his wife are downstairs making sandwiches, Papa's up on the flying bridge with him. He looks at him and he says, well, Papa, what do you think of your son now? Am I a captain or am I a captain? And the father looks at him and he says, son, he says, by you mother, you are captain. By me, you are captain. But by a captain, you're no captain.
Well, Lou, let me.
And that's the point.
No.
Real astronauts and fake astronauts. And golly, let's put it this way. Chris Pratt would never claim to be an astronaut, but he's played all of them, right?
That's right. Let me answer this real quick. This is because this comes up from time to time. Todd P asks, why do you keep calling him Bezos? Well, Todd, to answer that, I hope it's humorous to you all out there. It's because if I call him Jeff Bezos, people correct me and they say, Pro, it's Jeff Bezos. And if I call him Jeff Bezos, people correct me and say, Pro, it's Jeff Bezos. I finally got tired of it and just said, well, he's Bezos from now on. He's Bezos. So there you go. And Katy Perry, well, she's the shark girl. And I think Left Shark from the Dancing Super Bowl halftime show, that should be the next one to go up. And no, I'm sorry, it's a person in a shark suit. That doesn't make them a real shark. Maybe the government will have to come out and clarify that as well. We really hope that you felt this video was satisfactual. We know we had an actual good time participating and communicating with each and every one of you out there listening. It is a great honor. It is a great pleasure, even a responsibility to do this on a daily basis. You give us the dream job we love doing, and for that we can never say thank you enough. There's only one small favor we ask beyond what has already been done, and that is, folks, consider it. That is clicking the like button. Share, subscribe, click it, stick it to those pesky algorithms. It's the notification bell, and drop a comment right on down below. Let us know your thoughts, because your thoughts do indeed matter, no matter what the mainstream media would otherwise say. Folks, as we say every single time we end these videos, because we mean it, keep learning, keep growing, and keep having fun.
Hey, Floral, guess what?
You put a fork in Pro's microwave again.
No, that was yesterday.
I don't know that what.
Oh, I've decided to give up on torturing Jonas.
What? Why? In the same way the cat sleeps like 20 hours a day, that was like your purpose.
I know, but I've decided there's bigger fish to fry.
Okay.
Like Lorne. I mean, think about it. Everybody loves him. He's a fan favorite, and frankly, he has almost no weaknesses I can find. Except that he's really smart.
So, you want to annoy the one panelist without a single flaw, because he's smart.
Yeah, like that winged statue at that fancy Paris museum thingy. I want to break the one thing that everyone loves most.
So, kind of like the opposite of Rachel Zegler.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, I get to see her all the time at family reunions anyway.
You get to see Rachel Zegler?
Yeah. I mean, she's a total troll. Lives under a bridge, harasses billy goats, you know, the whole 9 yards.
It all makes sense now.
Speaking of which, maybe she'll get me... okay, call her on my... I'm gonna call her and see if she'll be in the next Indiana Jones. She should be the next Indiana Jones. That'll totally destroy Lord. He loves Indiana Jones.
Oh, that's cruel.
Hey, Rach. I've got a cool idea for you that involves a whip and snakes.
I love that description. It's perfect.
I know, right? Weird, as we always say.